How's it going, guys? My name's Oliver. Today I'm going to be sharing the presentation that I use to close all of my meetings for my agency. You're going to see it's not too complicated. I know most people like to use PowerPoints, but I prefer using just a workflow chart. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to be sharing my screen in a couple of seconds so you'll be able to see. But it's basically a diagram that I feel like it's easier to explain to the client what exactly I'm trying to do with my service and show them the progress of where they are right now and where they could be if they use our service. And if you've done any sales training in the past, you know that that's the most important part in your meetings. You want to help the client envision what their future is going to look like once they use your service. And I feel like using a workflow chart guides the client towards exactly what we're going to be doing in order to bring them to the desired outcome. All right, so it's not super complicated. We're going to go through it. It might be a longer video because there are multiple steps. I want to make sure you guys fully understand this. But this is exactly what I used to do in my meetings. I would share my screen. I would show what I have, like what I'm going to be presenting in a couple of seconds. And that's pretty much it. I didn't have case studies, nothing. Like I just showed that and they understood, like I knew what I was talking about because it's very detailed. So without wasting any more time, let's switch screens and you guys will be able to see what I'm talking about. All right, so here we are on my computer. This is basically exactly what I shared on my screen during my sales presentation. So as you can see, no PowerPoints, no fancy pictures, logos and stuff like that. I like to do things very efficiently and just go really like straight to the facts and just explain to the client exactly what I'm going to be doing instead of having like all of this like nice PowerPoints with nice colors, nice logos and stuff like that. Like I don't do those things. All right. And for me personally, like I was able to scale my agency very quickly using this. And I know it's effective because I do have an extensive background in sales, and I know that this does a good job of really giving a clear picture to the client of what exactly I will be doing for their business in order for them to make more money or to solve their other pain points that they might have. All right. So pretty simple. I have a couple of steps laid out, and this is exactly what I would do with a client. I'm like, all right, so step one, we're going to establish our goals. What is the objective what are you trying to solve by using our service? So if you haven't watched my other video on the sales cycle, it's a sales technique that I explained. Go watch that video, okay? That's very important. I go more in depth on these points, but basically you just have to discuss with the client and identify their pain points. As I mentioned, probably 90% of your clients will have these three pain points. So either they don't have enough time to do the service delivery themselves, they have a lack of experience, okay? So they don't have the knowledge, or they're just simply looking for new ways to increase revenue in their business. Pretty simple, all right? So I will discuss about this with the clients. I really like hammer down the fact that they want our service because of these three reasons, okay? And if the client specifically says, I really want to do ads, but I have no idea what I'm doing, you hammer down on the fact that we have a bunch of experience, like when you talk about your team, all right? Like you focus on their main pain point. So step one, you establish the goals with the client. Pretty simple. Step two, action path to solve those issues. So what exactly will you be doing in order to solve their pain points? This is what I did for Google Ads. Now, if you're doing Facebook ads, it might be slightly different, but the entire concept is pretty much the same thing. Like no matter what service delivery you're offering, all right? So pretty simple. As you can see, there's like arrows that go through every little box. I really like using these flow charts because it gives like a proper order of what we're going to follow in order to see the results. Okay, so step two, action path to solve those issues. So what are we going to do to solve those pain points? Step one, establishing our offer and the service we want to advertise. So that's what I'm going to be talking about with the client. I'm be like, all right, so what exactly do you want to advertise using Google Ads? And sometimes they'll say, I really don't know. Other times they'll be like, I want to do this specifically. So that is why you have to do research on your niche to know what type of offer and what service works best with your service delivery. All right, so you're going to be discussing this with the client. Afterwards, you tell them, all right, on our end, we're going to do our research. We're going to be researching the competitors in order to give us an edge. Afterwards, we'll be creating 5 to 10 ad variations to A/B test the best possible outcome. Now, if you don't know what A/B is, it's basically a way of combining different parts of the ads in order to figure out which combination is the most effective. All right, so it might be the head title with the small description, Like depending on amount of titles and descriptions you have, some combinations might work better than others. So Google does that for us, but I like to write it down to really make sure that the client understands that these ads are being like we're always going to be testing them to make sure they're the most efficient and they perform at their maximum. Okay. So afterwards, I tell them, okay, afterwards we're going to be creating 3 variations of landing page. Same principle. We want to test them out, see which one works best for your business. Okay, you want to hammer down that this is a very personalized experience that you're working with the client for their specific business. Afterwards, we're going to be launching the ads. Once, of course, we get a thumbs up on your end, so you reassure the client that we're not going to be doing a bunch of random stuff. Like we're going to be working hard, but we also want to make sure that they approve of the work that we do before we officially launch our service delivery. Afterwards, pretty simple. We're going to be doing continuous monitoring of the ad performance, as well as improving the ads themselves. So as you can see, I put arrows around here to say that this is a continuous cycle. Like this is always happening. We're always going to be monitoring the ads and we're always going to be improving them. And then that, sir, is how we're going to be able to book you a minimum of 15 new jobs every month. Now, 15 new jobs, you basically replace that part with your offer. Okay, so whatever you're offering for your agency, you mention it here. So for me, it was always a minimum of 15 new jobs. And then if you want, you can put a dollar value to it. I like to put dollars because clients, it's never bad to show like the amount of money you're going to be able to generate the client, especially if you're charging a high ticket. All right. So if I use this logic, if we book you 15 new jobs every month, we're going to be increasing your monthly revenue by about $5,000 per month. And now if I'm charging $2,000 per month, for them, it makes a lot, like it justifies the cost. So yeah, $2,000 per month might seem a lot, but if I'm making you $5,000 per month, is it actually a lot? Not really. Okay. So that is step 2. So this is the exact action plan that we're going to do in order to solve your issues. Now, I noticed that many people stop here. All right. And I think this is a very big mistake. And I think this is why I had like a lot of success in my meetings, because I took it a step further and even another step beyond that. And I want you guys to implement this for your agency. It's going to help you a crazy amount. Okay. So step 3, I like to call it going full speed. All right. So how can we increase the results and make them even better? All right. So the question I'm going to ask the client is, all right, sir, once we actually establish like a way of getting consistently 50 new jobs for your business, what our team is going to start asking themselves is, how can we double your current results? How can we get you 30 new jobs every month? You see how this like kind of pushes the client. It's like you told the client over the phone that we're only going to get you 15. But once we're on the meeting, I'm like, look, sir, like 15 is just a start. Like I'm looking for how can I get you 30 new jobs, double the amount. So the client sees that like, okay, he's not just going to stop at 15. Like he's going to push even further to make me even more money. Okay, clients love to see that. And you can see like the progression that I'm trying to draw. Like we started here, like step 1, we just established our goals. Step 2, the objective is to get 50 new jobs. Step 3, get 30 new jobs. Okay, the client, he sees exactly what we're going to be doing. That's very important. So step 3, going full speed. How can we double your current results? Now, normally there's 2 paths. Now, depending on your niche, who you're working with, the service that you're offering, this will be very different. But I normally tell my clients, we have 2 options here. Either we increase the ad budget or we advertise new services. Okay, so if we increase the ad budget, we're basically going to be doubling down on the ads that perform the best. So you tell them, look, once we really did the improvement and we made sure we knew like what combination of ads like worked the best, then we're going to be doubling down in order to really juice out the most money that we can from those ads. And if you want to advertise new services, you basically tell them, all right, we're going to be testing out and launching new ad campaigns. And we basically restart this entire process with the new ad campaign. So once we do that, we're pretty confident that we can book you upwards of 30 new jobs every month, which translates to about $10,000 per month. All right, here I just put like fictional number, like I don't really know how much it's worth in dollars, but you understand what I'm trying to do? Like at first I told the client it's only 15 jobs. He was not expecting this. He's like, okay, like these people, they actually want me to succeed. They don't want to stop at 15. They want to go upwards of 30. So again, you put a dollar sign, People like to see dollars. You're like, can you imagine yourself, sir, making upwards of $10,000 just from Google Ads? And then, like, obviously, like, that's going to incite them to want to work with you. Now, do I stop at step 3? No, I keep going. I push it even one step further. All right? I go to step 4, which I call expansion. All right? This is probably my favorite part. This is when you're really going to differentiate yourself from most agencies. Most agencies is, I'll run your Facebook ads, I'll do your Google ads, I'll get you 50 new clients, and they stop there. No, what we do is that we double the result that you were expecting. And on top of that, we look for ways to book you upwards of 100 new jobs every month. Now, I know 100 might seem a bit crazy, like, Oliver, can you actually do 100? Obviously, like, this is more so just to kind of picture them in a future where they could book that many meetings in a month. You know, you're not going to guarantee 100 jobs per month, but this is what I call, if your objective was to aim towards like big numbers like those, this is what we would be doing. All right. And this is what I explained to the client. I'm like, all right, once we're really consistently able to book you upwards of 30 new jobs, we already increased the ad budget as much as we could. We advertised pretty much every service that we could. If, sir, you're still not satisfied and you want to push it even further, this is when we go to step 4, which is expansion. All right, expansion is very simple. We're going to be exploring new marketing avenues in order to further increase the revenue. So how do we do that? Either we run different types of ads, so it might be Facebook ads, or we start creating short form content. So either TikToks, Instagram Reels, or YouTube Shorts. Okay, we want to get your brand out there. We want to get your name out there. And obviously, like, we are going to be discussing like which would be the best option based on your goals. So this is the next step. Once we talk about it, and if we do want to go along with either running ads, running Facebook ads, or creating short form content, obviously this is going to be entirely taken care of by our team. So you don't have to worry about that. So our entire team is going to be devoted to implementing this new strategy. And it's really with this expansion step that we are able to get you like these crazy big numbers of jobs. All right. Our objective is to go 100, 200 jobs from these ads. And obviously 100 new jobs for your business. It's an insane amount of revenue for your business. We're talking about upwards of $50,000 per month. All right, but let's take it one step at a time, sir. I just want to like really show you a full picture of what's going on in our business. Okay, when we sign on new clients, we don't stop at 15 new jobs. Okay, 15 is the minimum. We look for ways to really boost your business to become the number one in your area. All right, so this is like the way you have to conduct your meetings. I'm telling you guys, I never used a PowerPoint. Very rarely use case studies. Like, I had them, but I didn't even need them. Like, look how detailed, and like you can clearly tell I know like what are the steps I'm going to be taking in order for him to make money. All right, so this is the sales presentation. It's not too complex, but it is pretty in-depth, and it worked very well for me. And this is what I recommend you guys. Okay, I like flowcharts. Flowcharts, you have the arrows, and it really like guides the client towards what path are we going to be taking in order for them to succeed. Okay, so I hope this was useful. If you guys like this types of videos, please let me know, and I'll be making more like flow charts and sharing like exactly what the material that I use to close for my agency. Otherwise, I wish you the very best, and we'll see each other in the next video. Bye bye.